Patience Mokone, and of course, the one, the only, many people call her an icon of women's rugby in South Africa, and that is Lusanda Dumke, who has an incredible story just from where she's from and what she's been able to achieve, and of course a nominee at the current SA Rugby Player Awards, Vaina Ubisi. You don't want to be standing in front of Vaina when she's got ball in hand or when you have the ball. She actually terrifies me when I watch from the side of the field because, I don't know, Vaina, just something clicks, right? Okay, sorry. I apologize. And maybe if we go that side, another Springbok. She plays at fullback. You also play a bit at 10, no? Yeah, plays at 10. That is Behandri Dolph. She may be unrecognizable because she plays with a scrum cap, but to help you next time, when you hear Behandri, just imagine pink scrum cap. And actually, Hendy, you'll be impressed. If you haven't seen up close and personal Behandri's scrum cap, it has the Barberton Daisy on it. So she lives and she embodies the Bulls Daisies brand. And of course, 7-star, 15-star, a Springbokker, and another woman who has done incredibly well from an international rugby perspective, that is Uzinhle Mpupa. She also is pretty destructive on the field. And then you've got Uglenda Baloyi. We spoke earlier, or you heard earlier, prayers acknowledging the work that you guys do, yourself, Nani, Hayden, and the rest of the coaching staff, from a player development point of view, creating a pathway that allows the emerging Daisies to come through into the professional setup. And some of those work that you see is through the likes of Glenda Baloyi, and then a new recruit, because she has seen the light, that if you want to grow your rugby and become a better and let me call it a more successful rugby player in South Africa, you must go where there is a fully functional high performance facility, and that is Shanique Alexander. Ladies and gentlemen, your Bulls Daisies players for the 2025 season, donning their new kit.
To get to the top, one should not be afraid to take the stairs. So I'm just reminded of that. Whatever you do and whatever we've been doing, we've never been scared to take the stairs in the absence of an elevator. And many of these ladies have had personal growth with them. Some have lost their kids. Some have just had so many bad things happen to them, not once, not twice. But I think because of who we are, family orientated, able to assist, also being able to be part of the joys that we've sort of met along the way. It has given us great joy also that we've been able to involve our partners, not sponsors, but partners. And those are things that you learn when you're a people's person. And the BBCO and the BBRU resembles that within the greater aspects of Tshwane, and most importantly also we look beyond Tshwane, because we firmly feel that South African rugby cannot just be looked at from a one point of view. It has to look from a point of view where people are able to take our silhouette and make it something that breathes. A silhouette is something that moves. And if it moves, people follow, if it's the right thing. And therefore, my colleague Steph, me and him, we've had some good and bad meetings, but all for the best of women's rugby. It was a couple of months ago, Steph, that you broke the news that we would have to do the women differently from the men. And I said, it's another challenge. And from that challenge, you've always been in support for us to have the jersey launch. So if you look at the track on your table, look where we've come from. That journey looks to be on a tar road, but I'll tell you there's been some turbulence to get where we are now. But what we've been able to do is throughout all of that driving through those turbulence and the straight lines and the curves and so forth, and the curved roads, is that we've been able to bring back back-to-back championships. And that is obviously under the leadership of the team management of the Bulls Daisies and also the players. And I must say, myself has taken some lot of learnings that I think the ladies thought that this, for them, is a place where they can sit and relax. And I'm happy that now they've realized what professionalism is about. So we're more about high performance. We are more about stakeholder engagement, partnerships, sharing our journey. And also, I think one thing for me is that we're not shy to show who we are. I had a call to Edgar a couple of months back, and I said, is it a possibility that we can have the Daisies underneath the Bulls so that we become our own entity? And he agreed to that, and immediately I jumped on to Chanel for trademark and copyright. So you'll see now going forward that the jerseys that we have, we've sort of hung down. The pink one on the far right, that was our very first jersey. And then we normally use white and blue, but that time we had pink and with blue. You could actually see that those are the crawling stages to actually come and be in line with our senior men's team. And then last year, everything was aligned. The white one in the middle, that was our away jersey, exactly the same as the men. And in that sense, Mr. Ndlovu, is our women, when they travel the same logistical planning as the men. In terms of facilities, training is exactly the same at a different venue, but nothing changes on that. Where we are a bit short is actually when I read about Indian cricket, when I read about South African cricket, where they've been able to align women's sport on a remuneration equaling path, where they've equaled the equilibrium, where whatever the men are getting, the women are paying. So for me, that is still something that I want to look up to, where these ladies are now able to earn in the same vicinity as the men. It's going to take us some time, but I think with great partnership, with great people who believe in what we believe in, we'll be able to make them feel that they actually looked at on par with everything that the men's senior team is getting. And without the leadership of our CEO, without the leadership of the MENCO, and without the leadership of the board, some of those things were never going to be possible, but they've made it that possible. And we urge and we want to continue on this journey with you guys, and saying, from a government point of view, GPG has come on board because they know what we do for the community. That's why we're able to have Emerging Daisies, is to showcase that it's not only a professional entity, we're also able to do CSI project, we're also giving back to the community. And in so doing is we're not only asking for funds, we're asking for more partnership, talk to us for more collaborations, and those collaborations then create a bigger thing that if it explodes, everyone is a winner. Thanks to the media, thanks to social media. I said to Steph, we had one post that got 1 million, Doc Simela, 1 million views. And that for me just showed that women's sport continues to be the growing sport. We've got a 2025 World Cup, which is half sold already. It hasn't started. So we're going to look at record numbers just for rugby. It's not Olympics. It's not in France where they spoke of those records. We're talking now purely on rugby terms, that 50% of ticket allocation for that World Cup in England is sold. So therefore, the next batch is, you could look going down the line, the excitement and the need. You might have 100% sold out environment. And that's just women's rugby. So therefore, I echo the sentiment, press. You can't have a world top side, Springboks, in the top 10, and they lead that top 10. But when you look for the women's box, there's actually nothing. And yet France, England, Wales, Ireland, Scotland, they all feature in the top 10. And those are supposedly to be our counterparts. So we've got a lot of work to do, and I'm happy that, as I said, ladies, to reach to the top. Let's take the steps. Let's call on to all the other colleagues of ours that will be facing in the Premier to be more serious on the game. And I like your call to your fellow presidents, press, on let's take the game professionally, and certainly we'll do so that we can reach in the top 10, and then we can sort of look at quarterfinals, semifinals 2029 in Australia. With that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. That's our journey. It's a continuing journey. It's not a journey that we want to show off. It's a journey that we want to be the leaders, and the others can actually follow us. Thank you very much.
I really want to appeal to the other unions to follow suit. The bigger our base as professional players, a professional player, you can't compete as an amateur player. You're just better skilled, you're better conditioned, you're better trained. So we need a winning national team in this country, like we saw with the Springbok male team. We need a winning team, we need superstars. It's the same all over the world. If a team wins, if there's superstars, role models, then something happens as well. But I think all in all, I just want to thank all the stakeholders here tonight, everyone involved with the team, the players, for what you have done to this brilliant brand over the last 2 years. And may it continue to flourish. And, you know, you are attracting new audiences to Loftus. That is so wonderful to experience. And if we want to keep this game relevant, then this is one of the vehicles we're going to use.
I think a lot has been spoken about the journey of the Daisies, and there's a quote that Serena Williams once gave that sort of embodies what we're doing, I reckon. It says, "A dream is only crazy until you do it," and that's something. I think the message that we want to give the rest of South Africa and the rest of South Africa rugby teams is stop waiting for someone else to give you money to start a project. Start the project and then someone else will give you money to support you. And I think for our sponsors here tonight, we want to thank you for trusting us with your funds and trusting us on this journey that we will make a success of it and we will make you proud. That discussion myself and Willem had was actually after a performance of the Springbok women, where we sat and said, well, this really isn't good enough. I mean, you can't have the Springbok brand performing at an international level and taking 60, 70, 80 points. But the answer therein lies not that SA Rugby needs to do something. The only way you're going to fix it is building a base. And it's something our shareholders have been really vocal about why they invest in sports and also why we invest in women's rugby. Is that if the Springboks are successful, does that make the country happy? And the answer is yes, obviously. If the country is happy, do they spend local? Do they spend at your brands? The answer is yes. So how do we get the Springboks and the Springboks women professional winning and being successful? Is you need to spend on the grassroots and let the grass grow and then becoming successful. And that's really our vision as to why we invested in this professional project. It's really why we think that this next World Cup will be probably the most successful one for Springbok women. I mean, I think probably 70% of that squad will be made up of Bulls Daisies and Springboks that were created over the past 3 years. And that's really the legacy that we want to leave out there. Yes, there will be other things. Coming in coming years, I think there's no doubt there will be a URC for women. There will be a United Rugby Championship for women. And we want to be in a position where we can say, listen, we've done this, we're ready for this, and we're going to be a South African team that's going to compete in that. So that's the dream. That's the crazy dream we had. We're living it every day, and we just really want to thank you for trusting us and coming with us on this dream, and hopefully we can just build it in the future and make it something great. Thank you.